I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. I'm going to try and minimize the amount of time he spends in very, very difficult housing conditions.
You know, here, you didn't have to track him down, doing everything right. Right now, I'm not sure.
He's fighting, he's innocent, and he's going to be able to.
Diddy's attorney, Mark Angelo, has thrown in the towel after Judge Aaron Suprin exposed evidence of Diddy tampering with witnesses. A leaked communication showed Diddy actively manipulating witnesses, and now it's clear he won't be granted bail.
It was released right on Thanksgiving Eve, right at the end of the day on Wednesday. It reads, the court has evaluated each of the factors that it must consider under the relevant law. 1, nature and circumstances of the offense charged. 2, weight of the evidence against the person. 3, history and characteristics of the person. And 4, nature and seriousness of the danger that would be posed by the person's release. And it also says that the court has also reviewed the information submitted by Combs and the government across all 3 bail hearings in this case. As you remember, Sean Combs was denied bail both by a magistrate judge and a district court judge. Judge Subramanian writes, the court finds that the government has shown by clear and convincing evidence, so that's the standard, that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. In support of this finding, the court provides the following reason.
Diddy's lawyers offered a detailed bail package, including surrendering his passports and $50 million, but the court still denied it. The judge ruled that Diddy showed a clear intent to tamper with witnesses and posed a danger to victims and witnesses. Reports say Diddy was even willing to give up his home to secure bail, but it wasn't enough.
We made a bail appeal to Judge Carter. It did not go our way. The fight continues. We're not giving up by a long shot. I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. I'm going to try and minimize the amount of time he spends in very, very difficult and I believe inhumane housing conditions in the special housing unit of the Metropolitan Detention Facility. And I'm going to do everything that I can to move his case as quickly as possible. I understand that the government has a great amount of electronic devices that they have to download and provide to me. But everything's on the government's timetable, nothing's on the defendant's timetable, and they're going to have to accommodate me and him and give us a quick trial, and I'm going to be pushing for that. He's ready, he's focused, he has been ready to defend this case since he first found out about this case. Nothing has changed from his perspective. I obviously would much prefer to fight this case with him out of jail, and we are going to try to bring that about through additional legal process. But wherever he is, his resolve is the same. He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent, and we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight anymore.
In court, prosecutors played a recording of a conversation between Diddy and his son, Christian Combs. In the call, Diddy instructed his son to use code language to hide witnesses and evidence. At this point, it seems like Diddy's only hope for bail is if he has leverage over a judge.
A $50 million bond, co-signed by him, his mom, his sister, the mother of his oldest daughter, and his 3 adult sons. It's going to be secured by the equity in his property in Miami, Florida. Home detention. His passport will be surrendered. The government said that's insufficient. They said, look at the charges, look at the weight of the evidence that I just mentioned. They said they have allegations that he and his associates were trying to tamper with witness testimony last year so that they wouldn't cooperate with the government. What do you take away about who has the stronger argument in terms of bail?
Well, I think his counsel has done the best they possibly can. I think bringing him there voluntarily is very smart, starts them out on the right foot. But I think the last thing that you just mentioned, the interfering with witnesses.
That's the allegation, yeah.
Yeah, if that's true, or I should say, if there's real indicia that happened, I think that might tip the scales in favor of not letting him out pending trial, because I think and you know this, I think judges take extraordinarily.
Why is that not a fair outcome?
What he did here is on a magnitude of unlike anybody else you could imagine. A week after these public searches were televised, he gave us his passport. His children gave us his passport. He then paid off the mortgage entirely on his Miami home. $18 million. It's instructive that he's going to have a bail package ready so that if he was arrested, he would have something ready so that he could get out the next day and show the judge he's taking this very seriously, which he is, which is why 12 days ago, Chris, when we thought there's an indictment that may be coming, he flew to New York the very next day. And that's an extraordinary move for a defendant who's been under investigation that he's been aware of for at least 6 months. He has done everything somebody under investigation can do. I can't think of anything else that he could have done. He's fighting. He's innocent.
If Diddy were released on bond, it's feared he might silence the victims who have come forward against him. Clip.
I think that we made the points that we've been wanting to make. I think it came out. Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. He came to New York to establish his innocence. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of the charges. There's nothing that the government said in their presentation today that changes anyone's mind about anything. What's it? We believe in him wholeheartedly. He didn't do these things. This was a 10-year relationship. There's no coercion. There's no crime. There's basically just, someone who brought a civil case and now is finding themselves as a witness in a criminal case. And we're going to fight this case with everything we have, as is he. And eventually he's going to be shown to be innocent. And so tomorrow we fight again. And we'll fight every day until we don't have to fight anymore. I don't get into that stuff.
None of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. What? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah. Did Jay reach out yet? Nah, Pop. He ghosted. What you doing? These tweet now because I'm in here. It's all good. You about to get out on bail. No. Hey, yo. Need you to reach out to let these motherfuckers know there's a release date for that new Netflix movie. Pop. Crazy right now. Everybody out there quiet as smoke. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have them last laugh. What about all these lawsuits though, Pop? Ain't none of them getting shit. I ain't worth nothing. Ain't got shit in my name anyway. Don't even worry about it. But some money hungry.
Despite knowing his conversations are being monitored, Diddy continues to tamper with witnesses and evidence. Even with the possibility of offering hundreds of millions as bail, he shows no signs of changing his actions.
He might get bail. Now you're wondering why I'm saying that. See, they are trying to use some of the things that happen to criminals all the time, or inmates all the time. They always, brother, they always do those impromptu searches. And in one of the cases, in this particular case, they said that when they did the impromptu search, well, they took some of his legal information. And the judge ordered them to give that back. So I guess the lawyers are going to come up with a couple of new things saying that he can't properly, have his case be properly, what do you call it when the client gets their client and lawyer privileges. He can't properly do his case with, you understand, with them constantly going in the jail cell, searching him, taking his legal briefs, taking his information, and then probably using it against him. But I don't believe none of that to be true. I believe that they went in there just like they do all the other inmates based on the information they had. You got to realize this, bro. They found out that Diddy was using other inmates' phone calls. Now, that probably happens all the time. You understand? And he got to be probably the smartest, dumbest person that I know, because he got to know that those phone calls are being taped. So whatever his lawyers them come up with, the prosecution's going to come up with something else. So the judge is going to want to know, well, what did they do, when they found out he was in violation of some of the stuff that he was doing? Did they charge him with something new? Did they take some of his privileges away? What has happened in the interim when he's doing the stuff that they alleged that he's done? So it's going to be a whole forestry of next week, because what they did was they held off whatever the procedures was going to go down today. The judge said he's going to revisit this next week. So I guess, I don't know if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll find out what's going on. But it's going to be something that I think...
Things got worse when authorities raided Diddy's phone. During the search, handwritten notes, including what seemed to be a confession, were uncovered. The raid, backed by evidence from Diddy's own calls, yielded critical case material.
The first judge said that you knew in March, when they did the raid in your house, correct me if I'm wrong again, when they did a raid on his house, he knew that he had to go into court sometimes, right? He knew he had to go to court sometimes. It was going to be a time you got to go in court. What was he doing during that period of time? Still going to a few little places, party and stuff like that. I ain't telling the man, how to run his life and everything like that. But steady using drugs. Even when the feds caught them, they caught drugs on his person and drugs in his room. Right? So now he goes in front of the first judge. The judge is like, yo, your lawyers can't handle you. You had plenty enough time to clean yourself up and start doing the right thing. So I can't give you bail. You sitting up here, you done made 100 and something calls to this one girl that could be a potential witness. They said that you done blew up somebody's car. What I look like giving you a bail? So now what people don't understand, why would they lawyer go to another judge? Which is crazy to me. They think another judge is going to give them bail because they said, I'm going to give you 50 million, 100 million, all like that. No, they not going to fight against each other when none of your circumstances had changed the first time. Your first bail, you show that you ain't do nothing, and you still had the ability to be threatening to witnesses. You still drugged out of your mind. And I think they said they may have found pink cocaine. I told you cocaine is a hell of a drug, bro. It done brought a lot of people down. A lot of people down. And I don't give a F, but I feel sorry for somebody I know that didn't use drugs. And now he losing his whole empire. And it's got to do with who he is as a person. But them drugs sure changed him and effed him up. Because he thought that those people was going to give him bail because he was rich. Nah, a lot of rich people still go to jail. Not like we do, but they still go to jail. Especially when they got him like that and the attention, the bad press and the bad attention that he's been getting.
Yeah, they said that they found pink cocaine in his hotel room.
Yes, sir. So that showed the judge right then when he had the pink cocaine and he had pills and everything like that, that he's still doing the same shit and he don't care. And not another judge ain't gonna come behind that and say, yo, because he got to show where something has changed in his life. Nothing had changed since they did the raid.
Yeah, you may be right about that. I mean, if he's still doing drugs, then yeah, he ain't changed. But I know Trapper from the band, he did an interview and he claiming that he spoke to Hard Pierre and he told him that, Diddy is doing okay. And I know Chopper, he made a comment saying that he believed that, Diddy, he not going to do life in prison because money talks. You believe that?
I know. It talked for Weinstein. It talked for Epstein. It talked for Bill Cosby. It talked for R. Kelly. There's a lot of talking behind bars. It does a lot of talking behind bars. When they want you, brother, they don't care how much money you got. They don't care what creed, what color. When they want you, or somebody has put a battery in their back to get you, and that's what it looks like. You understand? Somebody put a battery in their back to get Diddy and bring him down. It ain't gonna matter how much money. Hard better be worrying about that if he wasn't oiled up. Because some girls have said some bad things about him. If that's the case, he better get his lawyer up and get his straight.
How you feel about Hard Pierre, personally?
I don't have no feelings behind him. You know what I'm saying? He was always a yes man. These are cats who was yes men to Diddy, man. You can't have no feeling for no man who, every time Diddy put on a beat and Diddy start bopping his head, they like this. Looking dead. And I used to bust out fucking laugh and walk out the studio.
Some of Diddy's close associates have spoken out, but they've been contacted by individuals claiming to represent him. Meanwhile, Jay-Z and Beyonce issued a cease and desist to Piers Morgan after he implied they had ties to Diddy in a recent broadcast.
Contact with witnesses. He gotta know they recording the calls, right?
My man, in order to you to think that you could get away with doing any kind of witness tampering in prison, you gotta probably be one of the smartest, dumbest person because they tape everything, bruh. Don't you know when he was using those other people's cards and they phone cards and everything like that, and they hear it, that person was like that. Hold up. That's supposed to be inmate 076. And Puff inmate number is 0666. Why is 0666 coming over on 0607? Why is Puff stuff coming over on his card? Hold up. Did he just say, take that, take that? Do I hear, bad boy, come out and play? They know his voice. And now for him to be giving people instructions to do things, like I say, he got to be one of the smartest dumb MFs we know. So if they got him on there telling people to get in touch with people or tell people to stop, because evidently you got to realize this. We may not be doing this pretty soon. We may not be even talking about Puff. None of these YouTubers. Because of what? They trying to get a gag order on social media. They trying to get a gag order on social media that nobody should be discussing these cases or his case or anything about him. And that's crazy. I know the judge is not trying to stop people's freedom of speech, their constitutional right. How dare his lawyers with that bull crap? They're trying to get a gag order on social media. Anyone speaking on him. That's why, did you hear about that they had private investigators going to content creators, a few content creators, and asked them, were you paid to talk about Diddy? Are you paid to talk about, or did somebody give you money to do any kind of content regarding his cases or whatever like that? They got people that they hired to go out there and then told them that if you stop, we'll pay you. Mighty, they might be coming to the Art of Dialogue, Mighty. They might be coming to y'all, man. You gonna take that hush money, huh?
Nah, man. Nah, I'm good, man. But I am hearing that Diddy in good spirits.
Wow. I didn't hear none of that, man. All I know is that, you know, the guards are being closely monitored. Because it was said that he was on a cell phone. And I don't think you could have a cell phone in the Brooklyn House of Detention, the Brooklyn or the Manhattan House of Detention. I don't think you could have a cell phone. And I heard that he had a cell phone. He made some calls to some people. So they're going to watch the guards closely, because if you remember with the Epstein case, and check this out, those two guards that were supposed to be brought up on charges because they falsified records, you ain't heard nothing else about them.
As the evidence against Diddy piles up, more people are coming forward to testify against him.
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appear to
Let
be.
me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized,
Yeah,
meaning
victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Over 36 lawsuits have now been filed against Diddy in state and federal courts across the U.S. Diddy's former bodyguard, has stepped up to reveal hidden truths about what went on behind the scenes.
Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform.
Gene claims that Diddy holds dirt on many influential figures, and if the full list came out, the public would be stunned.
I don't think you could have a cell phone. And I heard that he had a cell phone. He made some calls to some people. So they're going to watch the guards closely, because if you remember with the Epstein case, and check this out, those two guards that were supposed to be brought up on charges because they falsified records, you ain't heard nothing else about them. They retired in Florida with their feet kicked up, probably with millions of dollars. You ain't heard nothing else about those cases, bro. See, I believe if he gets out and enough people feel like him being a danger, because what happens is right now, the federal government is playing a game with him. They playing a game with him because they want him probably to be a witness or to turn over some evidence on some other people that they would like to have behind bars too. And you got to realize this. For him to do that, and if he does that, his life is more dangerous, in danger outside of jail than it is in. Because they can't do the same, they can't do the same Epstein move again. They can't do the same Epstein. You know, my friend told me that they put up so many cameras after that Epstein stuff, they can't do that move again. Whether allegedly he did it to himself or somebody else did it to him, we don't know. Whether he's on a private island or he's in the grave, do we really know? The whole thing about it is that he may be safer in jail if people are making his beds and he telling people to smile. He may be safer in jail than he is out. Man, I don't know. I thought he would have it hard, man, because since that was Brooklyn, and Brooklyn always stands up, and a lot of dudes from Brooklyn think that he led big to his death. You understand? And by him being housed in Brooklyn, I thought that it would be real difficult for him. But, you know, money talks, bullshit walks.
You heard about how they raided his cell?
Listen to me, man. They have done what they've done to every inmate that's ever been in jail. When they come and raid your cell, and they didn't only raid his cell, bro. They raid other people's cells too. Because he could be hiding stuff in other people's stuff. You understand what I'm saying? He could be hiding stuff in other people's stuff. Yo, hold this, man. Hold me down on this, that, and the third. They do that. So they raided everybody's stuff. What they did wrong, and we don't know if they did anything wrong, but they trying to say they took the information that was marked legal, his legal notes.
With over 300 witnesses ready to testify and new evidence surfacing daily, this case is far from over. Will Diddy's power and influence sway the outcome, or will justice finally be served?
Defending Diddy. All these celebrity friends he have and nobody came out.
They brand. It's all about the money. They saw what he did to Cassie. With the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know did nobody in America like that. So now these people are represented by a brand, whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies. They not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey, buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, you know, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape, because if he had 250 tapes all over, 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched. And Brother Love was watching.
Yeah, I mean, TD Jakes, he haven't even came out and said anything. And him and Diddy was real cool.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, man. And I know the people in the congregation over there is shaking in their boots because this man didn't led them probably, allegedly, probably led them to damnation, because those people's hearts are going to be broken if that man is seen on those tapes doing anything. Because people always put their faith in the pastor instead of putting their faith in God. And what they need to do is understand that he's just a man. And he has a history. It's not looking too good for him.
So you feel like celebs are worried that they might be on tape?
Oh, they know. That's why they ain't speaking up or saying nothing. Yeah, I was at a Diddy party, but I know I ain't do nothing. When you don't know somebody's taping you, when you don't know that somebody is videoing you in some kind of form or fashion, you got that alcohol, you got the drugs in you, they're a little loose, bruh. They let down all their inhibitions. The music is pumping. He said it himself. He got it so hot in there that you got to take your clothes off. He said that himself, bruh. So a lot of them, like what was what he said? I think a lot of them was being swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed? They tell off on themselves all the time, man. You just gotta listen.
But why do you think Diddy had all them hidden cameras?
Bruh, when you that powerful, you didn't get that powerful without having 1 or 2 or maybe 3 ups on somebody.
Diddy's legal troubles keep mounting. His desperate attempts to secure bail, including offering millions in collateral, have been repeatedly denied. The court believes he remains a significant threat to witnesses and victims.